Hello. I'll just do like a quick drawing thing of what's going on. So I'm going to make a linked list with 1, 2, 4, 5. And let's say that my pred function is odd. So that means that my satisfy list is going to have 1 and 5, and then my not satisfy is going to end up with 2 and 4. And if you notice, they're actually in reverse order. So from that we get the sense that we're somehow gonna like take like whatever element we see and then add everything that we have to so far to like behind it, so to the end of it. So we start off with satisfy and link dot and not satisfy as empty lists. So yeah, for now they're just empty lists, and S starts off at the front, and we say while S is not empty. This rest thing is just storing a pointer to s.rest because you're actually going to lose that in your process. So rest is right here. And then we have our if statement. So our if statement can check whether our number is meets the condition. So we can just call this function pred on s.first. So in this case, since pred is odd, this is going to return true. So that means we're going to be in this if block right here. And what that means is that we're going to be building this satisfy list. So remember what I was saying earlier about we take our current element and then add the rest of satisfy? Well, it's like that, except we're not creating a new link here. So we want to somehow just manipulate the pointers around. So what we can do is say we know that satisfy is link.empty, right? Well, what if we took the current element, because we do want to include it in satisfy, set its next pointer to whatever satisfy was, so in this case it's just empty. So now we have a list with one thing that satisfies and all the other things that used to satisfy, that also satisfy, right? But that's not enough because satisfy still points to this empty list. So now we say that satisfy also changes its pointer, and satisfy points to this list right here. So what I did in code was, I'm going to go back. I changed s.rest to be what satisfy is. So s.rest is what satisfy is. And satisfy is what S is. So I think we could just do this in 2 lines. This might be unnecessarily confusing. Yeah. So s.rest equals satisfy. So that's the first thing. So we get rid of this arrow. And then satisfy is equal to S. So satisfy is equal to S. Cool. So let's get rid of this unnecessary double assignment thing. Okay. Now we're going to encounter the other case where we move S along, we move rest along. Oh, sorry, one more thing. The reason we stored this rest pointer was because we actually lost what s.rest was. So we actually changed that to link.empty. So at the end, we're going to say S is now equal to the next element in S, which is actually stored by this rest pointer. So that's why this S is going to move here. And then we're going to move rest along in the next iteration to the next thing. Okay. So now we're actually not satisfying. And when we're not satisfying, we want to do the exact same thing. We take S, we know we want to include it, and then to its end we append all of the stuff that doesn't satisfy. So this is another link.empty, except the pointer to this currently is not satisfy. So we made this like list of not satisfy, but now we just actually have to change the pointer not satisfy to the correct list. So I can put not satisfy right here. Once again, I move s along to s.rest and rest along. Now, if you didn't fully see what was going on with the other ones, that's fine because we're kind of appending to like empty lists, right? Or appending empty lists to the end. But now we actually have multiple elements, so we can see more clearly what's going on. So what we'll do is the same thing, except again we're in this even case. So I'll also write this code. Well, I'll say s.rest is equal to not satisfy, and not satisfy is equal to s. Okay, so let's run this. So we're going to say s.rest, so this arrow right here, is equal to not satisfy, which points to this 2. So let's see how I should draw this. Okay. And then, starting from this 4, then to this 2, then to this link.empty, this is my new not satisfy list. So I move this not satisfy to where this s is. So if I draw that linked list just not laid out weirdly, that's just starting at 4, pointing to 2, and then pointing to link.empty. So the last thing I do is, once again, I move s along. Oh, shoot. So this becomes s, rest becomes empty, and then this remains not satisfy. Okay, so last thing I do is I want to fill up my satisfy. So I say, okay, this 5, I set its rest to whatever satisfy is so far, which is this list with 1 and link.empty, right? So now I have this list of 5 and 1. Then once again, I change this pointer satisfy to the appropriate list. So satisfy points to this list, and if I rewrite it, that's just 5 pointing to 1 pointing to empty. Yeah, I think that's it. Hope that helped.